to the Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And today I wanted to talk about beyond the finish line. What living with ongoing um, illness, chronic like pain, what that feels like, and how do we manage what feels like sometimes a relentless pursuit for an end. Um, One thing that I was sitting in a stroke recovery meeting this morning, and they were talking about, some of the folks were talking about how they'll be in a conversation with somebody and they'll say, yeah, I had a stroke. I had a stroke a few months ago, and this is what's going on. And so I'm going to get therapy or going to this doctor, or whatever. And when they get a response back, I hope you feel better soon. you know, um, it's an odd, like, conversation, because I think that the person on the receiving end, meaning the person who did not have the stroke, is not quite sure what to say, because it's so normal for us to, when we have somebody tell us that they feel sick, we want them to, and we assume that they're gonna heal. You're gonna get better. But like, nothing is ever permanent. But in the case of a stroke, often it is permanent. And so, what do you say? Do you say, "Oh, I hope that like I said, feel better soon," or "I hope that you heal to the extent that you're able," or what do you say? And somebody shared um, that their response would be praying for a full recovery. And I thought that that was a really nice way of saying, I hope that whatever full recovery looks like for you, you get there. So I thought it was a brilliant response. But it led me to start thinking about this. What is full recovery for me? What is an acceptable level of recovery for me? And what are so over the past month, I've been feeling really, really terrible. And my symptoms have all been heightened. And I've just gotten to the point where I'm starting to understand that um, there are a couple layers involved, a couple things that have been happening that are causing my symptoms to be so badly triggered. And one of them is, and I've mentioned it before, looking online for houses. And I'm like, I mean, I know I shouldn't do this, but I just have to look. Like, what color was the kitchen backsplash? Um, and just feeling like I can't stop myself from doing the things I want to do, or like posting my podcast on social media and then running across an adorable picture of a puppy who's carrying a laundry basket across the room to their bed. I can't stop myself. It's so cute. I can't look away. So there's a little bit of that that's happening for me, and I'm trying to stop myself. But then there's also stress. And I think that I have not been acknowledging the stress that's in my life right now. And it has to do with looking for a house, but there's a lot of stuff going on there. And I was talking to my psychiatrist this afternoon, and I said, I woke up this morning and recognized, like, I knew that I wasn't sleeping very well for a few weeks, a month. I knew I wasn't sleeping very well. But I woke up this morning and thought, this is causing my symptoms to be worse. Like it just hit me. I realized I'm waking up at night, I'm sitting up, stressing about the house. Are we going to get the house that we want and stuff like that? What are we going to do? Are we going to be able to sell our house? Like all the things that happen with this life event. And I realized when I woke up, because I was up a little more than normal last night because we put an offer on on a house. And for those of you who have been keeping up on this soap opera, we had a offer on a house and we did not get that house. But during the time we were waiting, we fell in love with another house and we like it more than the first house. So now we have an offer on this new house. And we're so excited. And so I was up and I was thinking about it and I'm decorating the house when I'm up in the middle of the night and stuff. And I woke up and I this morning and I felt worse than normal. I already wake up with this vestibular hangover when I'm feeling very triggered like this. And I woke up feeling worse. And I have not been doing more computer stuff or anything. I've actually been really good about not going online and obsessing about decorating the house and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of stress going on. It's not just looking at the house, obsessing about the house, wondering if we're going to get the house. But there's also with this state of recovery that I'm in and having a disability is like, what is life going to be like there? What is my new life going to look like there? Am I going to, am I going to be able to walk to some of these places that I want to go to? That's one of the reasons why we're moving to this location because it's on a lake and I'll be able to walk to the beach. I'll be able to walk to the dog park. I'll be able to walk to the pool and the kayak area. I don't know if I'll be able to kayak, but the stuff is close enough where I can walk to it. And I don't know what my life is going to look like there. And that's a little stressful for me because not like I don't have any face-to-face friends where I live right now. The only friends that I have are virtual friends. That sounds terrible. I only have virtual friends. Now, I do have an ex-coworker who is now one of my very best friends. And then I have another ex-coworker who's one of my very best friends. But that's really the extent of non not what non-alcoholic friends. The rest of everybody else is in my program, and I see them more virtually than anything else. So, what is it going to be like there when I start meeting neighbors? How am I going to start introducing them to what my disability is? I'm gonna need to go through this period where people are gonna offer me a drink and I have to say I don't drink. People are gonna offer me maybe to go on a boat with them. I can't go on a boat. People are gonna ask, do you want to go ride bikes? I can't ride a bike. I can't drive. It's going to be a lot. I think. And I think it's going to be for the good. It's going to help me with my own acceptance when I get to say that out loud. Um, but I guess I've been thinking a lot about like, where am I headed? Is there a goal I have here? Is there like um, do I have some milestones that I want to reach? what does the timeline look like for me to be settled in there? Um, yeah, I put a lot of pressure on myself, but it reminded me of this belief that there's a finish line in recovery. This belief that when I got sober, that I was going to reach an end goal. There is no end goal. The end goal was to put down the drink. And the bonus from that was getting emotionally sober and getting to navigate my life in a different way, in a more joyful way, and live better, to put it simply. It's ongoing though. And there are some people in our lives who see us going to recovery meetings, every day, much less every week or a few times a week, may ask, "You're still going to those meetings? Like, when do you stop going?" Well, you don't. You don't stop going. There's no destination here. It's really, I've put myself in the middle of a process that is ever evolving. There is no end. Um, when I think about these different checkpoints, milestones that I've gone through in sobriety, it's like once I've gone through one checkpoint, like there's always another one ahead. It's like, okay, now that I know how to go to a certain social event and not drink, well, now maybe I can go to a wedding and not drink. Now I can, I'm getting more comfortable doing all of the things without drinking, but there's still not an end in sight. So in the same way, because I always compare the sobriety and the stroke recovery because it's so it's a mirror image of my sobriety. So stroke recovery is like, because of my deficits, my disability is it's an ever evolving, dynamic, uh what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like existence within this disability. Like things are always feeling different on a day-to-day basis. Um, Sometimes I have some bad seasons, which is what I'm in right now. I've got a season of a lot of head pain, a lot of vision challenges. Um, when I was talking to my psychiatrist, I was talking about like I know that because of my sobriety, the only way through difficult times, the only way to get to the other side is to walk through it, is to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I know because I did that in sobriety that I know what I'm going through right now, these symptoms, even though it feels like I have physically regressed, I know that I haven't. I'm hoping that I haven't. I don't know. I don't know anything really, because this is such a bizarre disorder. But I feel a familiar set of symptoms. And I know that if I keep being gentle with myself, stop being on my phone, stop doing digital devices, I've walked back from my rucking outside, like not physically exerting myself too much, not moving my eyes too much, and all of that stuff, that I will get to the other side and I will start feeling better. Um, but it takes time and it's like as soon as I felt like I had walked through the worst of it, like I actually got to a point a few months ago that I was like, okay, things aren't so bad. Like I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right here. And then I started regressing because I started getting cocky. That's what happens. I start getting cocky with my symptoms and like since I don't have a lot and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna just go on and watch this puppy carry this laundry basket into his bed. And it's funny. And that's what I get to do now because I've been a good girl and my symptoms aren't so bad, so I can do that now. Well, keep it up, Rachel. Like keep doing the things that you know you can't do when you feel better. But I've talked about this before too. I feel like I'm subconsciously testing my symptoms to see if they're still there. And and they are, right? They are. So I think it's a little bit of both, but this this fact that I can feel better or worse is the perfect like example of there being no finish line because I can think that I've reached it and then get cocky and then I regress. Um, so I can actually feel like I'm at this finish line, quote unquote, where I'm starting to feel better. And then life happens and I start feeling stress. And stress, side note, Autumn is running in her sleep right now. I think she's in the field that we just went for a walk in this morning. Okay. So, yeah, I can be feeling good and then have life happen and it's just stress. And that realization this morning that some of this that I feel the symptoms that have been triggered aren't my fault. I didn't do something wrong. I am living. Life is getting lifey. And in sobriety, we say when life gets lifey, that's when we need to lean into the program. That's when we need to pick up the phone and call our sponsor, read the literature, go to meetings, all of these things. Like life is still going to happen even when I get sober. It's not like things start being easier um, because I'm sober. Life still gets lifey. In the same way, in stroke recovery, I can be as gentle as I want with myself, but life sometimes is not gentle with me. Life doesn't listen to me. And and I still have to deal with it. And this morning's reading in my meeting, it was talking about building the foundation, building a strong enough foundation for sobriety that it can withstand stress, which is interesting because everything I've done today so far, it's only 2:42, but everything I've done today kept pointing towards stress. Rachel, look at stress today. That I can't control people, places, and things. I talk about that all the time. And having the ability to build, like having the foundational support for my symptoms, knowing what to do, the tools, sleeping, um, sleeping more and sleeping more. Now, going to my stroke support group, my vestibular support group, talking to my psychiatrist, like none of these things other than sleeping are necessarily going to help my physical well-being, I think, right? I feel like, well, this is just all for my emotional, my mental well-being. The only thing that's helping my physical health is sleep. And that's not true because stress is having a direct effect on my symptoms. For sure, it is. And I'm just realizing that today. What can I do about it? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there are certain things in life that are stressful, and um, and I don't have the magic wand to make that stress go away. But what I can do is acknowledge that it's there because just realizing what is causing symptoms or what's causing stress, realizing that there is stress, um, is, I think, progress towards starting to tap that down a little bit, tamper it down a little bit. Um, One thing that I talked to my psychiatrist about today was for a while there, I couldn't I couldn't envision my life with this disability. I couldn't envision where my life was headed. I had built a lifetime of a vision for being in my career and where that was going to go and all the people that were in my life and being able to drive, all the places I would go independently. And all of that is gone. So I couldn't create a new vision. I felt like there was nothing. I felt like there was a bunch of nothingness ahead of me. I could not envision living like this. And what I told my psychiatrist today is that I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to see what my life is going to be like, what my life is like. Like, I'm starting to live it. I'm starting to live in a way that I can envision what tomorrow is going to look like. And that's been really hard. That's been really challenging for me. Um, I'm starting to envision that there isn't a finish line because when I was working before I had my stroke, I didn't have, it's like wherever I got to in my career, the next thing was going to be, the next thing was next, Once I got to this point, okay, now I've checked that off. Now I'm going to get to this point, you know? But I can't say that I felt that there was a finish line. I mean, I did want to be a vice president. That was my goal. But that wasn't a finish line. It was a goal. And I just saw myself living my life out in that career. And that is what I haven't been able to do. I haven't been able to envision living my life out this way. And I'm starting to be able to do that. And that is great. That's great. My psychiatrist was smiling. And because I haven't been able to say that I could see it. Um, I still have a long way to go to to feel good about it, to not only envision it, but get excited about it. Um, I'm getting there. I mean, I'm excited about the house. I'm elated about the house, but, and I'm hopeful I'm going to make a lot of in-person friends. I'm going to start joining the clubs in this neighborhood, and there's even a play. There's like a play group, like playmakers. So I'm going to join that, and I'm hoping that I can be in a play. I even connected with those people a couple years ago because for those of you who don't know me, I was in drama in high school, and I was, if I don't say so myself, I was really good at it. I actually got Best Actress in a regional competition in uh, at UVA. And if my husband was sitting here, he'd be like, here we go again. But I loved it. I love getting on the stage and acting like somebody else. It's so much fun. So I'm hoping like I can do these things again. So do you hear that? Do you hear that there's hope, and that's me envisioning what can happen, the possibilities. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm not trying to reach a finish line here. I'm trying to live better and live out that vision. Um, so I hope I articulated that well. I think all in all, it's good. I feel terrible, but I feel like I'm getting my spirits back because I've been really feeling a bit down over the past few days. So, we'll just keep going. This morning I was getting my coffee before my AA meeting, and I thought, you know what? You are still going. After all this, you are still going. You have felt terrible, and you are still going. And that was me patting myself on the back for just getting up. That was it. Just getting up and acknowledging, like, I'm proud of me. I did it. I did it today. I did it this week. I've done it this month. I have felt terrible, and I'm still getting up and I'm still going. And because for me, the alternative is unacceptable. And so I'm just going to keep going. And I'm going to try to bring people along with me because that is that's the happy path for me. So that's all I have. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.